Well, that was a hell of a performance from the 49ers defense, 13-0 over the Saints, and they finally have a shutout to their name. Remember, the 49ers defense really wanted a shutout in week 2 against Seattle, but special teams screwed it up. There was the blocked field goal turned into a touchdown the other way from the Seahawks, so the 49ers gave up 7 as a team in that game. Defense gave up 0, but it doesn't really count as a shutout unless everybody does their job and you don't give up any points. And today that did happen against the Saints, 13-0. And the way it happened was awesome from the 49ers. I mean, this was not a game where they just overwhelmed New Orleans. New Orleans moved the football, but the 49ers stiffened up at the goal line. And I have to say that the short week was a factor. I mean, the 49ers only had 1 sack in this game. That was Nick Bosa. The 49ers did give up yards to both Taysom Hill and Andy Dalton. They didn't give up much on the ground. I mean, that's the centerpiece of this defense, is stopping the run. But normally when you do stop the run against the quarterback that can't move all that well, and that does describe Andy Dalton, you attain more than 1 sack. But the Saints just kept on getting away from the 49ers. They were able to move the football in this game, and it was at the true moments with the money down that the 49ers prevailed. Obviously, everybody's going to be talking about the Talanoa Hufanga hit after Dre Greenlaw got there on Alvin Kamara's back and he forced a fumble. The ball popped out 30 feet into the air. It's at least what Dre Greenlaw estimated it as. And then the 49ers recovered the football. But I have to say one thing about all of that, and I have a little screenshot here that I could open up to illustrate my point. A lot of people will talk about fumble luck. I don't, of course there is a component of luck in any sporting event, any football game. But when it comes to fumbles, to me, I look at it like baseball. You can maximize your luck by working the count in your favor in baseball. I think that you can maximize your fumble luck by hustling on defense and by being relentless, by getting toward that football. And take a look at the 49ers on this play. This is at just after the moment of the fumble. You could count the jerseys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 49ers on the field at the time that ball was loose, that had a very reasonable shot at recovering that fumble, who are all in the very, very close vicinity of that fumble. And, I think that this one still image represents the effort that the 49ers defense is bringing to the table. They're playing with their hair on fire. I wrote about this, and it's going to be up on The Athletic a little bit later this evening, so make sure you take a look at that. But relentless effort on a short week when the 49ers could have just mailed this one in. I mean, I talked to Diomedor Lenore after the game, and he said, we beat the odds. The odds are that you're not going to shut out anybody in the NFL, so you appreciate shutouts when they happen. The odds are even shorter, or even longer, I guess I should say. The odds are even longer that you're going to shut out an opposing team on a short week after you've been at altitude for several straight days, as the 49ers were last week in Colorado Springs and then Mexico City. They landed back in the Bay Area at 6:15 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And, Dre Greenlaw was talking about it in the locker room. He said, I just need to go to sleep. I'm way behind my sleep schedule. Everything is all messed up. I feel terrible. And there were a lot of reasons for the 49ers to just mail this game in. And they didn't. I mean, they were at a physical disadvantage this week on the short week against the Saints team, who returned some guys defensively, who, it was just playing a lot better along the line of scrimmage than they had been in the past. That showed up front, right? The 49ers fatigue showed up front, but they still found a way to get stuff done when money was on the table in this game. And they become the 8th team since the merger, the 49ers do. That's the 1970 AFL-NFL merger, with 4 straight second-half shutouts. That's awesome. I mean, this streak was on the line. They took it personally. Nick Bosa's the one that really sealed it. I mean, there was a stretch there at the end of this game in the fourth quarter where the Saints went 9 minutes and 2 seconds with the football straight, with the exception of a 3-and-out by the 49ers offense. So the 49ers defense was essentially on the field for 9 straight minutes. A slight breather there, but not much of one. And the Saints both times got the ball inside the 49ers 10-yard line. Both times, I think, inside the 49ers 6-yard line. I think it was the 6-yard line and the 4-yard line. And both times the 49ers kept them out of the end zone. Once it was the fumble created by Talanoa Hufanga. What a find he's been for the 49ers. And the second time it was Nick Bosa roaring around the edge for the 49ers' only sack of the game. Charles Omenihu was lined up on the inside there. He would have cleaned up had Bosa not gotten to Andy Dalton, but Bosa made the play. 11 and a half sacks on the season. It all comes and congeals into this. The 49ers defense absolutely has a soul, right? As these seasons progress, we start to learn more about the units. We start to learn more about how teams operate together, what their personality is. And we've learned that the 49ers on offense, for example, are a better passing team than a running team. And we've learned that Jimmy Garoppolo is doing a lot of the carrying for the 49ers on the offensive side of the ball. And they're still trying to find their perfect identity. But I think that we have seen signs of it, right? Especially against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday night. They spread the ball around to all their weapons. They've got plenty of them. They aired it out, and the 49ers got it done with 4 touchdown passes from Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, the defensive soul is now firmly entrenched and just in time because the Miami Dolphins are coming to town next week. And I find it really fitting that the 49ers defense was embarrassed by Kansas City just over a month ago. They gave up touchdowns on 8 of 9 possessions or something crazy like that. It was a scorched earth performance for the Chiefs against the injured 49ers defense, right? That was returning guys that hadn't really practiced yet. There was a ton of asterisks next to it, but you still have to prove that that bad performance was an aberration. Well, since that Kansas City game, the 49ers have won 4 straight and have shut out their opponents in the second half of those 4 straight games, a feat that's only been accomplished 8 times in NFL history since the merger. And now they get the chance to face another elite offense. Kansas City's number 1 offense DVOA. They scorched the 49ers. Miami is number 2 offense DVOA. They come to play the 49ers next week. What an awesome measuring stick for the 49ers coming up. And what a statement to make ahead of that measuring stick. This full game shutout against the Saints, which was the 49ers' first full game shutout since that mud game in Washington in 2019. So it's going to be a lot of fun next week. I have to say the 49ers offense, Jimmy Garoppolo remains really, really good. He threw 28 passes in the first half today, most of his career. 26 against Tennessee, that win over the Titans in 2017 when he was first earning that big contract. That was the previous high for Jimmy Garoppolo. Today, 28 in the first half, 37 total. Nice completion percentage for Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he went 26 of 37, but he just hit way too many times. As I said, the 49ers lost more than I thought they would lose at the line of scrimmage in this game. But the skill position guys, and then guys on the back end in the defense, and then Bosa in a key spot there on 4th down, they made up for some of their losses, right? It was not pretty. I call it a tractor pull. You call it a boxing match, a street fight, whatever you want to call it. A good team finds a way to win these games. The 49ers not only won this game, they shut the Saints out. And I have to say, do they do it without Juwan Jennings? Because he was the 3rd down outlet for Jimmy Garoppolo. He scored that touchdown far down the field. Maybe they do it without Juwan Jennings. Dre Greenlaw said that as soon as the offense scored a field goal on its first drive, the defense said, they don't need to score anymore. We're going to shut them out. And guess what? The 49ers defense came through and followed through on its word. So maybe the 49ers didn't need Juwan Jennings to win today, but boy, it would have been hairy had he not delivered so many times on 3rd down, then made that sensational touchdown catch. So that guy's a gamer, and he's a big reason why the 49ers beat the Saints 13-0. Summary, 49ers are 7-4. 4 straight wins. So it's gone from 3-4 to 7-4. They're in command of the NFC West. The Seahawks lost to the Raiders of all teams. A game lead for the 49ers with the tiebreaker. They have the Dolphins and then Tom Brady and the Bucs coming, and then a game at Seattle. So the next 3 weeks are going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun for the 49ers. And then Washington, those guys keep on winning. So the 49ers needed to take this game on the short week because this stretch in December is going to be a brutal one for them. They're going to be challenged, but they're entering it on a good note in first place in the NFC West. All right, much more analysis coming soon. I'm going to go watch some game tape, record our podcast. We'll talk to you in just a bit. Everybody take care.